I think it's time to re-rank the devil triggers, I must say. I think it's time. Since we finally got Vergil as a DLC, he finally has, his own devil trigger with his own movesets, and I feel like we should add it to our ranking, right? Now, first of all, I want to point out, my first devil triggers ranking video, just one quick question. Why the hell does it have over 100k views? Like, why? Like, it's not a bad video. Like the whole ranking, devil triggers, I always thought was, a pretty interesting idea. The only problem I have with it is that the audio is pretty bad. There's a lot of points where it peaks and I hate it. And plus I didn't really explain my ranking system too well. It's one of the things, like, you really don't expect this one certain, the video to, explode. And I really didn't expect it. What the, like 100k? What? But now we're just re-ranking them, mainly because, we got a new character, we got a new devil trigger, and plus I kind of want to fix some stuff ish. But to explain my ranking system a little bit more, we're gonna use a tier list. I'm mainly using a tier list mainly because I think it'll make a lot more easier to just rank the devil triggers, because one, it was a pretty long video because I was covering a lot of devil triggers and all that stuff. So yeah, S, A, B, C, and D. You kind of know the deal with these tier lists, so that's what's gonna be. So basically in that rank, in the original ranking, devil triggers, S basically means 10 out of 10. A B is the middle point, 5 out of 10, and then a D is like a 1 out of 10. That's basically how my ranking was in the original. And I added pluses and minuses to give it a little bit more, to determine the points, a little bit more. Anyway, let's begin the ranking. Let's rank the devil triggers. Here we go. How I'm going to rank them is, of course, by their appearance, their movesets, their utilities, how the devil trigger works in that game, and just overall how cool it is. Okay, that's pretty much how I'm going to rank them. And I'm going to rank them based on that game, because looking back at it, I did rank them comparing to like the latest devil triggers that we got. So I'm going to rank them based in their game, in their own game. Let's start off with the first devil trigger we get, the Elastor devil trigger that we get, and I like it. It's cool. It's a classic. It's very useful in different situations, basically with air raid, vortex. You can use vortex to actually, go through a lot of stuff. You're invincible in that move. You can use it in so many good situations, and it's a classic, and I actually do use it a lot, so I'm gonna put it at an A rank. The overall devil trigger for Dante in the first one is, just a different glow of aura, blue or red. But when you start attacking, we actually see the physical form of the devil trigger. The next one is Ifrit's devil trigger. Ifrit's devil trigger is really cool. I think the design wise of it looks pretty cool. Again, you can only see it when you're attacking, of course. A lot of good stuff. You could use it. You have a fireball. If you do forward triangle, you do a multi-hit. And of course, my favorite one is the Inferno move. And I think overall I do like the devil trigger design more than Elastor, but mainly because of the utilities that Elastor has. I do like it a little bit better of Ifrit overall. I like Ifrit's design a lot more, but Elastor's utilities help a lot in different situations. And next is the Sparta devil trigger that we get at the end of the game, when we are finally able to go into devil trigger with the Sparta sword. And the devil trigger is cool, it looks cool. I feel like in the end of the mission, when the game ranks you, there's some shots that the Sparta form does look pretty cool. It is like a bug type of demon, which looks pretty cool, but compared to the other devil triggers, the design doesn't really I don't think I like it too much. But in the Sparta devil trigger, you have more long range attacks. You're able to do a fireball in that state. You're faster. Some elements of both the devil triggers from Elastor and Ifrit go into the Sparta devil trigger, but not too much that you're really messing around or it's really that good. But overall, it is a cool moment in Devil May Cry 1 when you transform into Sparta. But I will put the Sparta one in the A tier. And overall, these are all good devil triggers. They're cool. They have different utilities. They help you throughout battles. But overall, I think Elastor is my favorite devil trigger out of all of them, especially because of the utilities that it has. But overall, the rest is pretty cool. Of course, we do get the Sparta skin, but his devil trigger, it is the same as, Elastor. an Ifrit. It's just, you just a Sparta Devil Trigger, just the appearance of it. That's all basically it is. So now in Devil May Cry 2, there's three playable characters with 5 different Devil Trigger designs. So let us begin with Dante's Devil Trigger. Now Dante's Devil Trigger, I like what they were trying to do. They were trying to add, wings to it. But overall, the design does look kind of messy-ish. I do like the trench coat. I do like the wings. The thing I'm not a fan of is his little like mini guns that he has attached in his arms or in his hands. My bad. I don't know why that's there, but it's okay. You are in Devil Trigger. Your movesets do change from your physical human form. You get different movesets. And one thing you do want to rely in your Devil Trigger is the Devil Heart system that you get throughout the game. You're able to customize your Devil Hearts. What you want to do? Do you want to focus on doing a lot of damage? Do you want to focus on your healing abilities? Do you want to fly? Do you want to be fast? All that stuff. Do you want to slow down time, which is like the best one, to be honest? There's different elements, lightning to, frost to fire. So it's all very, very interesting. I think that the Devil Heart system is a cool mechanic, but the overall thing that sucks is, the entire fucking game. So, but overall, his design is pretty cool. You do want to rely on him, most of the time. So for Dante's Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 2, I'll put it at a B tier. And also for Dante's Devil Trigger, he has a different Devil Trigger, which is the Majin Devil Trigger form, which he gets when you have low health. You just jump and press the Devil Trigger button and you turn into a big ass demon, which actually looks really cool. The design of it looks much better. Well, the only thing that sucks about this form is that you gotta be on low health when your health turns red. So you really don't want to, rely on this, especially if you want to try to, if you're trying to get, all S ranks. And most of his moves are pretty useless. He does get cool moves when you press different types of attacks, different types of buttons. You're able to do cool moves. But honestly, those moves don't really do that much damage. They're really useless. The only good damage is your shoot button, your long range attacks. That is the one thing you want to rely on every time you go in this form, because it does the most damage. It's the most reliable one, and all you gotta do is just shoot. That's basically it. The rest of the moves suck, and I hate it because it's such a cool design. So the utilities are much better in his original, his normal Devil Trigger instead of his Majin form, which sucks, but his design looks much better. And I like this design a lot better than, his original form. I will rank it a B as well, but I think Dante's original form is a lot better than the Majin form, to be honest. You really just don't want to touch it. Now, Lucia's Devil Trigger, her design is so cool. I actually do think her design is really cool. It looks very an angelic type of Devil Trigger, which actually looks really cool. I actually do like it. I think the Devil Trigger for Lucia looks a lot better than Dante's. But also, just like the Majin form, you do get special, moves when you're in your Devil Trigger, like the Majin form. But the same thing applies. Lucia's, moves don't really work that well. They do low damage. You barely want to use it, to be honest, because once you use a move, it decreases a good chunk of gauge of your Devil Trigger, and you really don't want to do that, because most of the time you want to rely on your Devil Hearts. Most of the time, their abilities, like slowing down time, doing extra damage, healing, all that stuff. So you really don't want to use your Devil Trigger gauge on using those special moves, because they're really worthless, to be honest. But I do think the design of it is a lot better than Dante, so I'm gonna put that above Dante. I'll still rank it a B. So Lucia gets a different skin, and with that different skin, she gets a different type of Devil Trigger. Not different type, just the the design of it, the costume of her Devil Trigger changes, and it's cool and it's all right. But I think her original one looks a lot better, so I'll still rank it at B. But I think the white just looks a lot better in Lucia in general. And now we get for our third playable character, which is Trish. This is the first time Trish becomes a playable character. Her utilities for her Devil Trigger is actually really good. I think it's the best one out of all of them, especially her air attacks, her long range attacks in the air. They do so much damage. Utility wise, it is the best, to be honest, but the design is so boring. It is just her and a glowing aura, basically like Devil May Cry 1. When you attack, she doesn't get no devil form. I do think the utility wise it's a lot better, but however, the design of it looks really bad. But I will put it after Lucia The one thing I love about Trish's Devil Trigger is, the moves she got. They're powerful. You want to rely on them, but because her design is boring, I put her right next to Lucia. Devil May Cry 3. Let's go. 2 playable characters. Devil Trigger designs are different for both of the characters, for Dante and Vergil. I like how the Devil Trigger works in Devil May Cry 3. The one thing, my favorite thing about Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 3 is when you hold the Devil Trigger button, your Devil Trigger gauge starts glowing red. And if you have full DT, you could charge up your entire Devil Trigger gauge. Letting go of the Devil Trigger button, either Dante or Vergil does an explosion, and whatever enemies is around you, you do a lot of damage. And that's one thing you really do want to rely on, especially on harder difficulties, or if you're fighting a boss and you want to deal a lot of damage during that boss. That is a great way to deal big damage. And I actually do rely on that most of the time on harder difficulties, or in general, to be honest, because it's so good. Dante's Rebellion, it's still good. I'm not a big fan of Rebellion Devil Trigger. I don't think the head looks too good. I'm not a big fan of the big round helmet he has. I think the rest of it does look cool, but overall, just the head part, I don't really like it too much. So I'm gonna put it at a. I'm ranking a B. I think it's the head. I think if it had like some horns, or if it's spiky somewhere, I might have liked it a lot better, to be honest. Now Cerberus Devil Trigger, that's a lot better. It has horns, it has it has the wings in the back, the ribs, all that. I think it looks better than Rebellion, of course. And I actually do think it looks a lot better than Lucia's. So I'll rank it a B. I think my favorite one out of all of them is Agni and Rudra. I'm gonna rank it an A because the design of it just looks cool. Plus, I just like the weapons. They're awesome. It's cool. And I do like that Dante has a lot of spikes in the back. It's cool. I like it. Actually, I like it a lot better than Sparta, so I'll put it above Sparta. Boom. There. Now, 4th weapon we get is Navan. Navan is cool. I like it. It's sick. Plus, the weapon is just sick as hell, to be honest. So I will also rank it A right next to Agni and Rudra. It looks cool. I do like it's keeping that thing, the horns. It's cool. I like it. Beowulf. I like Beowulf. He's cool. However, it's still like the round head, but I think it looks a lot better than Rebellion because it isn't, that big. And plus, I do like the wings in the back and design of Beowulf's Devil Trigger, so it's actually really cool. So I'll rank it an A as well. These 2 weapons in general are just like the coolest weapons in Devil May Cry 3, to be honest. It's just sick. It's cool. Of course, we get a different costume for Devil May Cry 3, which is the Devil May Cry 1 costume. And in that Devil Trigger, you go into the Sparta Devil Trigger, which is still pretty cool. I think it's cool. I think the Devil May Cry 1 costume is the best costume in that game. However, I don't really, like the Devil Trigger too much. The Sparta Devil Trigger, it's cool. I kind of wish it kind of got in the Lastor, or the Ifrit Devil Trigger type a little bit, redesign. I think it would have been cool. But even still, the Sparta, Devil Trigger looks cool. I like it. I'll put it in an A rank as well, just because it's paying respect to Devil May Cry 1. But because the designs of it and the mechanics of it are much better, I'm gonna put it like that. Looking at it, I think I'll put Dante's Rebellion above Lucia. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Do that. Going back to it, changing it a little bit. Changing it. I'm changing it. Changing a little. Let's go. I think it's a lot better. I think this feels a little bit better for me. It's because of the charge up mechanic. Is the reason why I kind of changed it a little bit. I moved Sparta a little bit down, mainly because comparing to these, the utilities for it kind of suck, to be honest. I think this is how I view it. Yep, going with that. I think having the Devil Triggers on display makes a lot better to actually, organize which is better, what I think is better, The same thing with Vergil kind of applies to, the same mechanics, for Devil Trigger applies to Vergil as well. Vergil got 3 different designs for his Devil Trigger. First is the Yamato Devil Trigger and the Yamato and Force Edge Devil Trigger, which is pretty much the same thing. Design wise, I do not like it. I think it's the same thing with Dante. It's the head. It's like a shark, a hammer shark head type. I don't like it. So I'll still put it at A rank because of the mechanic, charger mechanic, because it's good. However, Beowulf Devil Trigger is a lot better design-wise. I like it a lot better than Yamato, Rebellion, DMC1 costume, Cerberus, and of course a Beowulf. Put it right there. I think it's a lot better, especially because of the horns, especially the face part of Vergil's Beowulf Devil Trigger. Looks a lot better than Dante's for sure. And now, for the best Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 3, Corrupt Vergil costume. You get a completely new Devil Trigger, which is the Nilo Angelo Devil Trigger. Now, I mean, come on. S rank for sure. You all agree. The best Devil Trigger in that game. Just because it pays, respects to Devil May Cry 1. Also, his moveset change as well. It's a different complete moveset. It brings back the moveset from Devil May Cry 1. And it's cool. It's just sick as hell. So of course it deserves an S rank. Of course, it's awesome. I love it. Corrupt Vergil is actually really fun to mess around with. And overall, he's just awesome. He's just a great Devil Trigger. I mean, come on, you cannot deny that. It's a great Devil Trigger, man. Hell yeah. Devil May Cry 4. Let's begin. Dante's Devil Trigger. Ooh, it looks so cool. I'll rank it A. I rank it A. You know what? I'll rank it. Boom, A rank. I'll put it right there. I do miss the charge up, mechanic, but I think the design wise beats everything. I mean, would agree that it beats, these as well, but it's just because of the mechanics of Devil May Cry 3 has. I like it a little bit better. But design wise, it's cool. You do get power ups, of course. Your attacks increase, your health regenerates, but it does go a little bit slower. You gotta wait a while. When you go on your Devil Trigger, you gotta wait a little bit while before your health starts regenerating. But overall, it's still cool design. Now, Nero's Devil Trigger. Now, I think I do like Nero's Devil Trigger a little bit better than Dante's. To be honest, I will rank it at A, but I put it above Dante's Devil Trigger, mainly because he has different move sets. Of course, he has the showdown move, and then he has the shockwave move. I don't remember the correct name of it, but he has that move as well. And of course, when he shoots, he starts shooting, summon swords as well. But I think I just like Nero's utility-wise, moves for Nero. I think I just like a lot better than Dante's. All right, Vergil's Devil Trigger. Now, Vergil's Devil Trigger is cool. Of course, it's there. There's so many good things about Vergil's Devil Trigger that just makes it look so cool. Of course, I'm gonna rank it an A rank. It's a lot better than everybody else, to be honest, because of the different move sets. Like a lot more moves, a lot more utilities he has in his Devil Trigger. He has Judgment Cut, of course. He adds a new move during his regular combo. He does look a lot more cooler than the rest of them, to be honest. And of course, Beowulf is there too. I think design-wise, it looks better than Yamato and the Force Edge version. Of course, with the same thing with the Beowulf, he does get more movesets, all that stuff. But to be fair, they are added after the main game. They are added after, which of course they're gonna get a lot more better stuff, to be honest, in the base 2 characters, of course. But what can you do, right? What can you do? It's still sick as hell, to be honest. And of course, Corrupt Vergil comes back, of course. However, we don't get Nilo Angelo costume, not at all. We get the Sparta costume, which is cool. I think the same thing still applies with Vergil's movesets, all that. I think Sparta does look cool. A lot better, actually. It sucks, I know. I wish we kind of got in, Nilo Angelo. I think would have been cool, That's just me? That can't be just me. Come on, man. Like, Nilo Angelo was just a cool Devil Trigger. Come on. And of course, we get Lady and Trish here. Trish is still the same thing. A bland, boring Devil Trigger, to be honest. But it's weird, because I do think her Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 2 is a lot better because of, the move she got. Then again, it's because how the game was designed and all that stuff. So, it's weird, but I will rank it as a B. I'll put it right after, Trish's Devil Trigger, right, ladies, Devil Trigger. It's weird. She doesn't have a Devil Trigger because she's a human. She is just human, no devil blood, nothing like that. But instead of a Devil Trigger gauge, she gets a burst gauge. Basically, once you press that button, she throws a bunch of grenades around her, and the more gauge that's filled up, the more powerful the attacks will be, and you are invisible during that state. So yeah, it makes sense because she's human. They have to do something, right? If you want to, avoid damage, that is a great way to avoid damage. It does take a while to build the entire gauge. I will give it a B for sure. Fuck. Ooh, it's because it's lady. I'm trying to it's not an A for sure. Compared to all this, no, it's not an A. It's got to be a B, but because it's lady, I don't want to disrespect my wife. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. Also, in my previous video, people said that Dante's Devil Trigger, what's the name called again? The fucking Dreadnought form. That's what it's called. Now listen, it is not a Devil Trigger. All right, it is not a Devil Trigger. Everyone keeps saying that. Oh, you forgot one Devil Trigger. It's Dante's Dreadnought Devil Trigger. No, it's not a Devil Trigger. It's the reason why I didn't rank it, because it's not a Devil Trigger. But I know they don't care. They still want me to rank it. But I would like to say that yes, I can see why people want me to rank this, because when you go into your Devil Trigger, you activate this move, it does change his appearance, So I'll rank it, just to satisfy you guys. I'll rank it a C. I'll rank it a C. It decreases, how much damage you get hit. However, you are slow in that state. You can't really run. And yeah, the design of it does look cool, but you barely use it. You barely use this Devil Trigger. And plus, I'm just putting that C rank because just so I could piss those people off. We'll do DMC first, and we'll save, the big ones till the end. So DMC Devil May Cry. Now, Dante's Devil Trigger. You all know why. I got a comment the other day saying that bullshit, DMC's Dante's Devil Trigger is so cool. What are you talking about? It's the best one, blah blah blah, Now let me explain why his Devil Trigger is so bad. The design of Dante's Devil Trigger in DMC is a disappointment. The whole point of the game was to, not relate anything to the original series, okay? Because it's a reboot, they want to revision it, okay? But then they made Dante's Devil Trigger look exactly like the old Dante in the previous series. I thought you're gonna, stay away from the original Devil May Cry games, and yet you make Dante's Devil Trigger into the classic Dante. White hair, red coat. What? It's not a bad design, from going from black hair to white hair. And just because the context of what we have, basically what happened between the launch of DMC, it's not good. They're hypocrites. Now, for gameplay wise, it's much worse. When you go in your Devil Trigger, all the enemies around you get launched up. Why? I have no idea. For the casual, player, most of the time, they're gonna spend the entire time while, in their Devil Trigger gauge, trying to hit the enemies in the air. That's pretty much what it's gonna be. It still has that mechanic. It does give you health, yes, but it doesn't give you that much health, and your gauge does deplete really fast, and I don't like it. I think overall it's a bad design, a bad Devil Trigger, and I don't like it. Vergil's Devil Trigger, it's a lot better than Dante's, for sure, hands down. I like it. Vergil doesn't change his physical appearance, but he does get doppelganger, design wise, it's okay, However, gameplay wise, mechanics wise, utility wise, it's really good. With a doppelganger, you're able to tell your doppelganger to go, either you could set him to go, demon mode, or set him to angel mode, or just neutral, the normal form. And you're able to do some really cool shit. It's actually very, very deep, surprisingly. And overall, it's cool. They actually put in some time into the Devil Trigger for Vergil to actually make it, pretty cool. So, I will rank it an A. Boom. A rank. Big ones. Big ones. You've all been waiting for. Let's go. So, it's going to be pretty brief because it's still, my still ranking is still the same as my other ones. Dante's, normal Devil Trigger. Of course, graphics make it a lot better. Same utilities, of course, but he does get different stuff when he goes in his Devil Trigger. His moves expand a lot. Dante acquires his own devil arm named after himself, called the Devil Sword Dante, and in that form, when you go into Devil Trigger, you're able to use your own summoned swords. For Sword Master, for Trickster, for Gun, for Royal Guard. So of course I think that beats everything else, to be honest. I think it just adds a lot more options for crazy combos, to be honest, especially for the summon swords. It's great. Dante's Sin Devil Trigger. Of course. It's so good. It's too good. The design of the Devil Trigger looks so cool. The movesets that Dante has is great. When you have a triple S rank, you're able to go in and out of your Sin Devil Trigger to do some crazy ass combos. And overall, it's just cool as hell. Our Nero's Devil Trigger, I still think it's an A. I do like the wings in the back. It looks cool. The face part is still a problem for me. Again, I don't know why he has long hair. It is cool, to be honest. Like, I don't mind it. It's all right. Just the face part is weird. I don't know. I get it that the Devil Trigger for Nero is supposed to be different from, anyone from all the brothers of Sons of Sparta. But, of course, his old stuff come back. Showdown, his Shockwave attack, they come back. Actually, I put it, looking at it, I think I put it mainly because of moves that the Devil Sword Dante has, or different types of styles that, he could use. I think it's a lot better than Nero's. V's Devil Trigger, you summon Nightmare. It's the same thing. You summon Nightmare. It's cool. It's awesome. I do like that he turns, to white hair. It's not an S rank. It's not bad. It's not a C. But it's definitely a B for sure. So, new character, new Devil Trigger, of course. Last time I did rank, Vergil's Devil Trigger, mainly because of his appearance, just his appearance, and I gave it an S. But his moveset, he gets a lot of more cool stuff. But when you have a weapon equipped and you do the base attack of it, he does an extra move after that. And they all look cool. The animation of it looks cool, especially on Beowulf's, of course. That looks really cool. And of course, Vergil gets some big moves. He has Judgment Cut, of course. He has Hell on Earth. And he has the Spinneroo attack with Force Edge. I think my favorite one is Hell on Earth, just because it's so freaking cool. Deep Stinger is really good when you're trying to destroy Urizen's, shield. And Judgment Cut is just cool as hell. I mean, come on. It's a classic. Now, this is where I really had a debate with myself, because I like Dante's, Sin Devil Trigger. Has a lot of cool stuff. Also, Vergil has a lot of cool stuff. So, to be honest, for me, I don't really care. They're both awesome. They're both cool. To be honest, it could go either way, to be honest. Because some days I'll be like, I like Dante. And other days I'm like, oh, Vergil's is much better. It's just a balance. It's a balance. Vergil does have Doppelganger, and that is technically his Devil Trigger gauge, his normal Devil Trigger gauge. His Doppelganger is really good. I think it's good. You're the same thing like in DMC. You're able to tell it what to do. You could do some big brain combos, dude. You can set him to go slow, to go faster, to go the almost the exact same speed. And there's a lot of videos out there that show you the potential of crazy ass combos with Vergil. I'm gonna put it the A rank. But this is weird because it's the same thing with Dante and Vergil. It could go either way. Vergil's Doppelganger I think is a little bit better, but when I look at those crazy ass combos, those big brain combos, I gotta put above in this one. But your Doppelganger is only stuck with Yamato. But of course, if you have the PC, you can mod it and it could go to Beowulf or Force Edge. But if you just have the console one, it's just gonna be Yamato. That's one thing I didn't like, because DMC Vergil, you're able to tell him to use Angel or Demon or normal powers, and the same thing. I could go either way. And it's weird. I could go either way. But yes, this concludes my Devil Trigger ranking. Re-ranking the Devil Triggers. Hopefully I fleshed out some of my thoughts. Yeah, I think overall it's almost same-ish a little. I think these three are still the same from the previous video. It's just that the Vergil's added as a new character, This one's definitely the same. DMC just bad. But of course, this is my opinion. Of course, You're not all gonna agree. It's just fun. But yeah, that kind of concludes this ranking Devil Trigger. I think you're able to make your own. I think you're able to like view everybody else. I don't know how this tier list works. Like this is my first one that I make, to be honest. But no, this was cool. This was fun. Hopefully you enjoyed. I do want to make another ranking, but I don't want it to be something, you know, like playing every little stuff from Devil May Cry. I'm not trying to like, you know, do that. I'm trying to do stuff that are interesting. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of talk, you know. And also, do you guys want to see an LP of Legendary Dark Knight mode with the Vergil? I still haven't done it for my PS5. I haven't touched the PS5 in a while, to be honest. Only the PC version. But I'm wondering if you guys want to see an LP of, you know, Legendary Dark Knight for Vergil. Let me know if you disagree. You agree with my ranking? Probably disagree, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.